Welcome to My Morning Coffee. Always bold, hot, and full of flavor. Gia and Tonya are My Morning Coffee. What's in your cup?
There you go. Hey, everyone. Welcome to another edition of My Morning Coffee, where the conversation is always hot, bold, organic, and full of flavor. And we have a pretty open and honest, organic conversation coming to you today about some things that many of you may not know about, unions and how they work and where the push and pull happens at. But before we get into that, Miss Gia, what's in your cup?
Good morning, Cup Crew. I have coffee in my cup this morning.
Because
I couldn't sleep last night. Well, I could sleep last night, but I woke up very, very early this morning and I couldn't go back to sleep. So I've been up since about 5-ish. So now it's time for me to have a little coffee because I was getting a little sleepy. So I'm having a little coffee. So yeah, that's why I've been up.
Gotcha. So yeah.
What's in your cup, Tonya?
Well, I got my YMCA cup because I'm just feeling love for the kids right now.
Okay.
Coffee is in my cup. Yesterday we sorry about that, y'all. Yesterday we did the future business leaders thing over at Redondo Union where we get ready for a Shark Tank type of event for our high school kids. So we have a panel for them to, talk to them about business and starting a business and finance. We had, someone from finance there, and we had this roofer there, and it's my committee. So it was pretty cool to just listen to some of the questions that the kids had to ask, but that lets you know that they're already on the cusp of like thinking about building a company. And we've done this for, year. We do this every year. And
did I get an email for that?
No, that's for the Chamber of Commerce.
Oh, okay.
But if you want to join the chamber, you can.
Okay. That's like another meeting, huh? That's another meeting on my agenda.
It would be another meeting that you'd have to attend regularly. Not sure if you want to do that.
Yeah.
But, but it was great to see the kids and hear some of the questions that they had about building a business. Last year, we had kids that had already launched their business when they came to propose their stuff. So it's just interesting to see how entrepreneurial some of these young people are already, do I do online marketing? Do I, is it in person? So I'm giving them all the goods about their brand. And it was interesting. It was good stuff. And then also I spoke for International Women's Day yesterday for a company.
Okay.
And it is Asian owned. And most of the event was, not in English language. So it was really interesting to be able to tell my story to a group full of people that didn't all speak my language. And at the end, they still got it. So some of the questions, one of the most, I guess, interesting questions was someone asked, how do you inspire kids? Right.
Oh, okay. So how did you answer that, Tonya? Look, we all are listening.
You teach them how to solve problems so that they're not dependent on you. When they learn how to solve problems on their own, they're more independent, right? They're more aspirational because they know they don't have to depend on someone else, and they get creative and innovative when it comes to solving their problems or starting mess. You know, my kids, they like to start new things that I'm just, I ain't ready for. But it was good. It was an interesting conversation.
Well, that's good. That's what you do. Because yesterday I was out. I don't really want to say where I was out, but let's just say I was out, and I witnessed something yesterday, and it's really I don't it kind of took me back for a minute. So, got this young kid given an opportunity to get exposure to a business and that he wants to be involved in. You know, get exposure to, in that little circuit as an intern. So, interns, they're supposed to, from what I remember, you're supposed to do work at the business, right?
Right.
Right. You come there, you have little tasks to do and stuff like that. Well, this, person was given an opportunity to be an intern, and also this person has a business, has a line, has a brand, and they were given an opportunity to have their brand in this place. In turn, they supposed to do work. Well, lo and behold, young people, it seems that the kid was all day. I'm not gonna call him a kid because he's an adult. A kid is somebody under 18. This person's not under 18. Okay.
Got it.
So but seems to just be concerned about their brand, their items in the store. That's what they spend all day doing, that kind of stuff, and want to tell everybody come down and see my stuff. But when it's time to do work, they move very slowly. So the owner of the establishment kind of had a little counseling session with him. That's what you do in the workplace. You counsel your people, right? And
you develop your employees.
Right. Yeah. So pretty much, said some things, and, they had little words and stuff. And of course, these kids nowadays, they think they know everything. So of course they, had some lip service and stuff. So I guess the owner decided that, I'm going to, remove their items from, display, because they were given like prime real estate
This all happened while you were there?
Well, no, this didn't happen while I was there. I learned about this, it happened before I was there, another day.
Got it.
But I was there when all, but this person has prime location. If you're in retail, if you get your stuff in a store, in the front of a store, near the window, that's kind of like, if you walk down the street, they see your stuff, a big deal.
Yeah.
Long story short, so she packed this stuff up and boxed it up, but she was like, really, if hey, if you come to work and you want to do your job, I'll give you your chance. You got to earn your way back to the wall, so to speak. We're gonna call it the wall and everything. So yesterday, I guess he decides to come and get his stuff, and he bring his mama with him to get his stuff. And I happen to be in the store when he comes to get his stuff with his mama. Okay. So I'm just like, oh, and of course, y'all mamas.
Y'all know how it goes.
Y'all mamas be about your kids, okay? Because, I be like that about my nieces and nephews sometime too and everything, and, my god kids. But at some point.
So this grown person brought his mama business at the business
store. to the store to retrieve his stuff.
All right.
And mama had a little attitude.
Well, she's the mama.
Okay, but come on, mamas. If your kids are not doing what they need to be doing, because your kids do act different when they're not around you. So I know you probably, y'all think your kids, they're so good, so good. Yeah, they are good, but sometimes they get off.
We only know the story that he told her.
Well, right, exactly. That's what I'm saying. So we know so I just thought it kind of took me back. I'm like, oh, so he bring his mama with him to get his stuff? Okay. Interesting. So I don't know. Cup Crew, I need y'all to chime in.
If you still live with your mama,
you
probably be working harder to keep your stuff in the store rather
than right.
Stuff.
And I guess I'm from
old school.
When I was younger, growing up, my mama wasn't going nowhere with me to pick up nothing, doing nothing. I might have a problem. I might have talked to my mother about it. She might have told me how to approach it, but she wasn't coming down, not as an adult. She was not coming with me to my job when my supervisor got on my case to tell me, that kind of stuff. So I don't know.
But that's one of those things where you find out you wind up seeing these men as they wives and girlfriends have to raise them.
Yeah.
Their mamas won't let them be grown or teach them or make them be grown. Like, you're grown. Go handle
Right.
it. You didn't need me to get you in the store, but
Right.
now I gotta come with you to get you out. No, we're not doing that.
Yeah. So, it's just when so listening to you, what you said about, how you inspire kids. And I was just like, oh, okay, well.
Yeah. So his mama needs to teach him to solve his own problems.
Right. Yeah. So I was just taken back. I was like, oh, he brought his mother to this place to get his stuff. Oh, okay. Yeah. Interesting. So yeah, so that was kind of like my day, some of my day yesterday I experienced. And I was like, oh.
And now you won't tell us what store, so I can go see.
No, I'm not gonna tell you what store. I'm just gonna say, y'all teach your kids to be independent, and if you might have to drive him to the store. I don't know if he had a car or not, but you don't have to come into the, let him get his stuff.
But then all that, if you didn't have a car and you needed your mama, then you probably needed to work a little harder to keep that opportunity to sell your stuff and have it on the wall. Like, this whole picture is just a mess. Like, why is your mama grown? Your mama bringing you. She fighting your battle.
And the mama could have came with him to help him get his stuff. But when the mama had displayed attitude, then I was kind of like,
you acted
okay,
Yes. You gotta teach men to adult. Okay. Yeah. Let's teach men to adult.
Yeah. So
make it easier on everybody else.
So
interesting. Well, listen, we are about to bring in someone that's very adult. Mr. Brown. He's coming to us from Sacramento, California. There's been some stuff going on down there with the unions, and we are going to bring him in to drop some knowledge and update and a little tea on what is going on.
Yes, we need to get the tea for real.
Sacramento. Right. So listen, go ahead and let the people know who you are. And I don't know if they told you, but I hope you got your cup. What's in your cup?
Well, Tonya and Gia on My Morning Coffee podcast. I don't have any coffee. I just have some regular water. They say water is the backbone of man. I'm not sure. That's what they tell me. But I'll do my very best to keep it with you.
But you got regular water. Okay.
Yeah, this is regular water. This is some fancy water, they call it. Now, it's not good well water from the country.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? All right.
But it's regular water. It ain't that stuff that got all that other stuff in it. It's regular water. Okay, I got you.
I don't know. They'll sell you anything now. I don't know. But listen, ladies, I want to thank you for having me come on. I'm not sure if everyone knows I'm the Local 1000 president, SEIU Local 1000, the largest public sector union in the state of California. It's a pleasure to be on your show, your podcast this morning. Yes, I'm going through a great deal of adversity since they elected me. I took office on June 30th. When you're taking hours to be, when you're wreaking havoc on the status quo, well, people are not going to respond to that very well. And the voters voted, and it's unfortunate how there's a certain percentage of membership in Local 1000 that cannot accept my election victory. And it's just as simple as that.
Okay, Mr. Brown, you done said a whole lot in a little bit of time. So we're going to have to get into some of this. We have to break some of this down because you done said some stuff. And
right.
Yeah, so you've been in office, what, a year and a half, right?
No. I've been in office just over 8 months.
Oh, over 8 months. Okay, so you don't have a year yet. 8 months.
That's
and
correct.
they already coming after you.
Well, actually, when I won on May 24th, when they made the announcement I had won the election, they started plotting and trying to conspire then to remove me from office. So someone made a false allegation and called the cops to my house on May 25th at 5 o'clock in the morning. But luckily for me, the police, the Sacramento Police Department, they did not stereotype me, praise God, through Jesus Christ. They did not stereotype me off the false allegation that there was a woman in my house screaming at my residence. But I lived to tell about it. And I'm fortunate because, many of us.
Mr. Brown, Mr. Brown, we ain't going to go there because, I got 31 years. LA County Sheriff's Department, and there's a lot of good officers out there. When we come to everybody's house, we come to figure out what's wrong and diffuse the situation and handle business. So it don't make it seem like we
Right.
come in and every time we come, something bad is happening at your house and some stuff. No, that's not the case. We're not here for that right now. We're here to talk about you and the union and what's going on with you with
Can we start here? Explain to people that don't really understand unions. What are unions for? And if they are for something good, why do people fight against them? So break that down for the viewers for me.
I'm going to break that down. I'm going to go back to what Gia said about there's a lot of good police out there. I'm glad that she said that. I really am. Because there's a lot of good unions out there, but the perception is unions are no good. So unions sometimes carry that same negative perception as the police. I'm so glad she said that. And so what a union does is they ensure you have quality wages, hopefully substantial wages for a specified period of time, along with a safe workplace absent of bad behaving, egotistical supervisors and management. That's what a union is for. And somehow our country has forgotten how the unions in this country created the middle class.
Okay.
Got it. So why would and who would fight against unions? So when we hear about the good that unions are built to do, who are the contenders? Who is against unions? Who wants to get rid of unions? Because many of us hear it as a cliche word, because if we're not involved in a union or we haven't had the opportunity to be represented by a union. So who are those that are against unions and why would they be?
Well, it's simple. People who are against unions are usually people who are, quote, working for corporations. Corporations don't like unions because unions are responsible for pensions. You retire with dignity and it doesn't depend on the fluctuation of the stock market. So people, your corporate interests, people of great wealth who want to keep the labor costs down, they would be against unions. People who have special hand skills, specialized skills, who feel like they don't need to work in a group to take care of themselves, they also may be against unions. But sometimes you'll find that these people, they say that they believe in the greater good, but yet unions is ensuring that regardless of your color, regardless of your religion, your sexual orientation, that you have a quality workplace, 8-hour workday, overtime, your lunch break, your rest break. All these great things that we take for granted now, particularly the young people, that came about because of people's struggle in fighting to create unions across this great country. And I think sometimes people forget that. And that's why I was saying, it's interesting. It just dawned on me that unions and the police have a lot in common. They do a lot of amazing things, but sometimes they don't get credit for it. And it's really a shame.
So, Mr. Brown,
yes.
you said some people, you told Tonya who most times the people that are against unions are corporate people. Corporate America kind of frowns upon the unions and things like that. So is corporate America, is that who's upset with you right now? Or is it some other entity that's upset with you right now?
Well, in my personal opinion, because I defeated the incumbent who had won 4 straight elections, that's a problem.
Okay. Now,
some people in the union would say that the incumbent worked for the corporate, and the corporate in this case would be the politicians at the state capitol, starting with the governor. Okay. That's some people's opinions.
Okay.
Other people would say there's a problem with you winning the election because you're not promoting social justice issues. And Local 1000 has been known to do that throughout the years. And there are unions that promote social justice. There are unions that don't do that. So if you say, is it just the corporate people? In this case, for Local 1000, the corporate would be the politician or the state government. But as we all know, politicians and corporate interests always come together. And that's why you have a tremendous amount of lobbying going on at the state capitol.
Who do you represent? So your union represents what industry?
State employees, the state of California, the state government. We represent over 730 different job classifications, ranging anything from a custodian or office technician to an LVN, an RN, in the state hospitals and state prisons. Tons of analytical positions is represented by our union. So we do a tremendous amount of jobs and services for the state of California, Local 1000.
Okay, so you guys unions have elections, so they elect presidents. I don't know how often union presidents elected. So you guys had an election,
Yes.
and the incumbent lost this go around, and you won. So you're considered new. You're considered new on the union front. Is that
That's
correct?
correct.
That's correct.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's correct.
So you won, and now the your predecessor and his I'm gonna say his crew. Let's call them a crew right now.
Mhm.
Okay. They're the ones that are upset with you and trying to remove you from your position. Is that kind of what's going on up there?
I would say that's pretty accurate, but in this case, he is a she.
Okay.
So
She. I'm
we
sorry.
had
She.
an African American president for many years, 13 straight years, and she lost, and then she eventually retired, and she's living her best life.
Okay.
But some of her supporters who are still here cannot accept the fact that I'm here.
Okay.
Right.
So the supporters of her, not necessarily her, the supporters of her are the ones that are trying to get you removed from your position.
It's a little bit more complicated than that because in our
Okay.
union, we have people who, in Local 1000, we have people who support me, Richard Lewis Brown, and then we had supporters who supported the former president, and then we had another group of supporters who supported a third group. So this is not a two-wheel race. This is really a tricycle situation.
Okay.
Three different
So
groups.
let's get into why you say they're trying to remove you because you're not for social justice reform. Is that what you said?
I would say that's one of the major issues because justice and politics half of our have good things and the other half division. So that's big. Stand up there,
You're breaking up. You're breaking up.
I'm sorry, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Go ahead and say that again.
Okay, I'm so sorry. So, I'm against social justice issues. And then again, when I was elected, I was outspoken about making everyone get vaccinated. I said that I don't think that's right. So that was a major issue as well. And then I was fighting for jobs at a prison closure that they're trying to close a prison up in Lassen County. And so that has caused people to say, no, we want the prisons to close. And I said, we're under a union contract. We have people represented by Local 1000 that work at prisons, particularly the one they're trying to close in Lassen County. We don't want anyone under a signed contract to lose their job.
So by them closing, by them closing the prison, that means those people would lose their jobs. They wouldn't be reassigned to another prison.
There's a possibility that they could be reassigned to the neighboring prison. And then we learned a few days ago, they're trying to close that prison as well. So there's no guarantee that if your prison closes, that you're guaranteed reemployment somewhere else. And then the other problem is with this particular prison in Lassen County, if you close the prison, you're going to destroy that community.
Okay. So since you were against closing the prison, those people became your supporters because you were fighting for them to remain at that prison and keep their job, so to speak. Correct?
I hope so.
Okay.
Yeah. They weren't support.
Okay, so now you got a group of people who are against that and against you, so they're coming after you. You're saying, right? They're trying to remove you from your position.
Right. There's two other groups, including the supporters of the former president, who are trying to remove me. That's correct.
Okay, so let's get into what are their grounds to remove you? That's what we're trying to let the people. That's what I'm sure the people want to know, right, who don't know. What are they doing or saying or alleging that you have done or to make you for grounds for removal?
Well, the social justice is grounds for removal because that's the way it's always been. They don't like the fact that I'm fighting to keep the jobs in Lassen County. That to them, that's grounds for removal. They say that I haven't had the board meetings, which I have had board meetings, but they don't like how I run the board meetings. They don't like the fact that I gave staff time off during the holidays. even though the staff hadn't had a pay increase since 2006 under my leadership, they got a 14% pay increase over 3 years, and they were given the new federal holiday, Juneteenth. So a lot of these things that I have done, they look at as being controversial because that's not the status quo from the past.
Okay, when you say the staff, you're talking about the local, the Union 1000 staff. Is that what you're talking about?
That is correct.
Gave them to
That
the
is
holiday off,
absolutely
not all the state and California employees. You're talking about the staff that work in your for the union.
And I'm so glad you brought that up because when they passed that, I believe in May, this particular governor Gavin Newsom,
You're breaking up again.
This is all right. Can you hear me now?
Mm-mm.
Can you hear me? I'm sorry. Can you hear me now?
Now we can.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I'm having some internet problems here. So the Juneteenth was a major holiday that I'm very proud of. And this particular Governor Gavin Newsom, didn't award it right away. But when the UAW contract for the staff here came up, I wanted to make sure that they was recognized in their contract. But that is controversial for some people in the union.
Okay, so how does a union president get removed from office? Can you talk about that?
Yeah, our policy file states, if you want to remove the president, you can do a recall and get 20% of the dues paying membership in 30 days if you want to remove the president.
Okay. So is that what happened?
No.
In your case?
That is not what,
no?
No. So in this case, what they tried to do, the 3 vice presidents by the policy file tried to suspend when they were already suspended by
Breaking up again. Breaking up. Break it up. Break down.
Hold on 1 second here. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
All right. So the 3 vice presidents tried to suspend me when I had already suspended them. And so this is a big controversy that we're trying to work through right now.
Okay. So you suspended some vice presidents and they in turn suspend you. So help us all understand that because they got suspended. So how do they get to come back and try now suspend you? How does that work? Because suspension mean you suspended, you don't have any powers or any, you kind of sitting on the sideline because you suspended. So how do you get to go and suspend, the person in charge? How does that work?
Make sense. Yes, make it make sense.
It's a coup, and you can't make this make sense. And so the 3 statewide vice presidents, after they were suspended by me, turned around and tried to suspend me. And our attorney here at the union took their side. So even though the attorney worked for the union, so she was under my authority, she took their side in the story. So that's why there's so much controversy.
Well, I read something that said you suspended them, but it said something about you suspended their membership, but not their titles or something like that. I don't know if I'm saying it right.
No, Gia, you're saying it absolutely right.
Okay.
Now, what they're saying that I suspended their membership is an absolute lie. I didn't suspend their membership, and I think some people put their suspension letters up on Facebook. I suspended them from doing their duties. So they're members of the union. I suspended them from doing their duties, and I sent a text to our lead attorney here at the union about that situation. So this is how sometimes the media would take things and put a spin on it when it's somewhat complicated.
Okay. So you suspended them from doing their duties, which means they're suspended. They can't act in their capacity because they're suspended correct?
That is correct. And that was done on February 25th. And then they tried to suspend me on February 27th, and they locked me out of the building on February 28th.
Okay.
What?
So now you're locked out of the building, and so now what happens? Now what's going on? You're locked out.
So for full transparency, some supporters of mine came to the building this past Saturday, and they walked inside the building. And so now I am inside the building as the duly elected president. And so there's a lot of things in place right now because they want to remove me away from the building now that I'm back inside the building.
Okay.
So what's next? What happens here? How does this get cleared up? Does it get cleared up? Does it just is it just a mess? What? How do the people? Here's the question:
yeah.
With all this kerfluffle going on, how do people get served? Who is here to help the people while y'all going back and forth? And these people are so determined to remove you. Who is helping the people that this is created to assist?
So I'm glad you asked. I'm glad you asked about who's helping the people while I'm inside the building. First of all, let me state this: the police came on Saturday. I'm here legally. I did not break into any building. I was not arrested. There was no hostage negotiations going on inside Local 1000. Who's helping the people right now? Well, as you know, because of this great pandemic for the last couple of years, people have been working from home. So the staff continues to work from home to accomplish the mission of serving our resident employees of Local 1000.
Okay, so the work is still getting done. It sounds like the management is in turmoil right now. But what I say is, how does that look to the people that you guys are here to serve? That's not a good look to all your union members, that you guys can't even, work together for the betterment of them, the union.
So as we know, and I'm just going to say this, looks, opinions, perception, everyone has one. And so right now, it looks like our union is in disarray. But in all actuality, before you do something great, things must happen. And, this country started in an interesting fashion. So our union is going through a great reckoning. And what I'm asking our members is to not lose hope, to not cancel their membership, to keep hope alive, to not give up on themselves. Don't give up on their families, because the union they belong to is having some issues right now. But show me any organization, whether it's church, government, our country, we've all had issues that we've had to deal with. And by pointing the finger, by saying, well, so-and-so's not right, or so-and-so's this, or so-and-so's that, that doesn't fix the problem. We have to look deep down inside ourselves and say, what am I doing? Is my actions truly sincere to help others in need? And I know my actions are truly sincere, and I stand convicted by my words as the Local 1000 president.
So let's talk some more about. I also read something about the board, the vice presidents were accusing you of misappropriating funds and I guess spending money unnecessarily on certain things. And can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes, I can tell you quickly. That's all a lie. I haven't done anything inappropriately. And one of the vice presidents, secretary treasurer, he's on the budget committee that I sat with. I still sit with. And he knows where I spent the money, and he never had a problem before. So this is all internal politics. And what they try to do is they try to create a spin to say, Richard's spending the money wrong. And what happened was, when I was elected, I started doing my Wednesday night calls, and you will see on our website, SEIU1000.org, you'll see all these PowerPoints under Local 1000 Listens to You. And all these PowerPoints reveal all of the past history of Local 1000. And then you'll start to see who was spending money incorrectly versus myself. I'm the one that put up the credit card statements that go all the way back in time to show that I was not spending money inappropriately on credit cards, while other people were spending money giving out trips to day spas and taking trips to Israel, even though I am pro-Israel and I'm pro-Palestine too. But they were doing many different things that came out to light.
And you brought all this stuff out to light once you got in office.
Yes, because they accused me of spending money inappropriately. So what I did was they were asking about my credit card. And so I went back and showed the credit card for the statewide officers all the way back as far as I could go. And what it showed was when they accused me of being at the day spa, in all actuality, they were for $1,800 worth at the day spa and for another $5,000 some dollars at Disneyland.
So, Mr. Brown, you didn't go to the day spa. You wasn't there.
No.
You wouldn't get your
no. They look. Well, no. I know. I need it. Listen. The only thing I've done that they said they had a problem with on my credit card I like to stay starched up. That's that military and that's that street life in me. I like to stay starched up. And so they
Okay.
complain about me going to have my clothes dry cleaned, even
So
though I'm the
tell us a little bit more about you and how you even wound up getting into this situation. Like, who are you and where are you from?
And what? Yes, I'm saying, what do you do for the state of California? What's your job besides before you were the president of the union? What's your profession?
Come on, Mr. Brown. Who are you? Tell the people who you are.
Well, my job that I still have for the state of California is an analyst at the California Debt and Investment Advisory Commission. It's called CDAC at the State Treasurer's Office in downtown Sacramento. That's my job.
Okay.
When I'm done being the president, I'll go back to doing my real job again. And I do it, and I love my job.
Okay. You the money guy.
Oh, I don't know about all that.
Well, I'm saying you analyze the money. You know the ins and outs of where the money is hitting at and all that. I know an analyst.
No, I won't brag like that. I won't do it.
Okay. Well, you analyze how the money is being spent. Okay. You an analyst.
Okay. Well, right? we track at CDAC, we track debt. Okay. And there's tons of people more smarter than I am who got MBAs and all that. Okay. I just have a bachelor's degree. Okay. So I'm humble in that aspect. Okay. Now, I am from the state of Missouri. And I moved to California years ago. And you said, how did I get involved with the union? On my first day of state employment, June 8th, 2009, San Jose at the EDD, Employment Development Department, Unemployment Call Center. I had a training class, and one of the ladies in the class asked me to go to a union event because they were giving free food. And I was so hungry. So I went to the union event. No, it was 2009. We're losing 3 days. Okay, you asked. I'm not bashful. So I was hungry. Okay. We were losing 3 days of pay starting in the month of July of 2009 because of the furlough fiasco. So I went to the union event, had some free pizza. And I became a job steward in August of 2010 after getting 25 signatures from my work comrades in the building. And then I got a promotion to come back to Sacramento at the state treasurer's office at CDAC. And then I became outspoken in 2012 when Governor Jerry Brown tried to take another day of pay from us. That was the 2012 PLP, a voluntary day of pay loss. And so I became outspoken and I said I was going to run for president. No one thought I would. And no one definitely thought I would ever win. And so here I am 9 years later.
Okay.
And, I give all the praise to God, to Jesus Christ, because I was given a dream that I would win the election.
So your road to the presidency started off with a slice of pizza that the union gave.
No, it started off.
Okay.
It started off in San Jose.
In San Jose with a slice of pizza. With the slice of pizza that the union sponsored. Okay, and he got it for free. That's how it all started.
Okay,
you know what? I've never had someone lay me out like that before, but yes, that's how it started. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Was it pepperoni or cheese pizza?
It may have been sausage. I can't remember. It wasn't no cheese pizza. It wasn't that. I can tell you that.
Listen, I lit up. I don't know if you saw that when you said San Jose. How did you get to San Jose from Missouri?
Well, I left Missouri and I lived in Arizona for a period. And then I moved to California. I lived in Sacramento. And, during that great time in 2007 through 2011, when jobs were hard to come by, I applied for the state and ended up moving to San Jose to work for EDD.
Okay. So I'm from San Jose, California.
Oh, okay.
Born and raised, so that always excites me.
Let me guess. Is it Silver Creek High School?
I lived near Silver Creek and I went to Independence High School.
Oh, you fancy. Okay.
Oh, is that a fancy Mr. Brown? Spill the tea. Spill the tea.
That's all I'm saying.
So Independence High School was a fancy school.
I'm letting it go.
Spill the tea. Because Tonya be trying to rep like, she was like, from the hood. So she went to one of them little uppity schools. Okay.
I never said that.
But no, San Jose was nice. It's a very nice city. Very nice city.
I'm gonna have to deal with her offline. So, okay, well, thank you. Bye.
Okay.
But I appreciate you sharing your journey. Go ahead, Gia.
So, Mr. Brown, where does all this end? When is it going to end, and how does it end for the union and you and the union? What's going on? Because at the end of the day, it's not it's about you, but it's really not about you. It's really about the people that you guys serve, and those are state employees, and they they don't need to be having to deal with their own union fighting, because again, the things that you guys do for employees, you do a lot of great things, and the most, you help them in a time of need, but you like you said, you get them, you make sure that their pay, their hourly pay is competitive with everybody else. You fight for a lot of things, and if you guys are fighting amongst yourselves, how are you going to really be able to fight for the employees when it comes down to it? Because everybody's looking, with COVID happening and pandemic, people are losing jobs. Some of the spouses probably could have lost jobs and things like that. So these people need their jobs, and they need their raises. So how do you see this ending?
Well, if it was left up to me, we would work things out. And it's a shame that there's a small group of people in our union who can't accept me. The long-term answer is there's a good possibility that we'll end up in court.
Okay.
And sometimes when people can't get along, you have to go to court, and then hopefully the judge or the jury can render a decision.
Okay.
I don't want to go to court, but
it sounds like that's where it's going, though. That's from what I can.
Sure.
Yeah.
Because they're dug in on their beliefs that they have to remove me.
Mm-hmm.
And I've said many things in the past. When you're outspoken and you're willing to fight the status quo, and you're not afraid to take the criticism and the punishment that they're going to put on you for going against the status quo and going against the powers to be, then you have a price to pay.
Yeah.
And so obviously God feels like this is the price that I'm going to pay. And so therefore I have to accept his will.
Let me ask you a question. Give me two of your most important issues that you are making change with. Like, what are the two most divisive pieces of change that you have been enacting that's causing so much kerfluffle?
If people tease me, they say, Richard, you're the people's president, and that 21% pay increase across the board for everyone, you're really shocking people by saying that, because you have people believing that it can get done. And then the fact that when I say that we're not going to call for a strike, we're going to go on strike after bargaining in good faith, and should we reach a legal impasse with the state of California next year, we're going to go on strike and shut down the fourth largest economy on earth. That's going to make U.S. history. So before we're able to make U.S. history, I think they're trying to make me history first by removing me. And that's what's got me in this hot water.
I hear you. Well, we want to thank you for taking the time, for being brave enough to come on with us. We don't softball any questions, and we wanted to make sure that we were able to get to kind of the meat and potatoes of what's going on. Hopefully, those that have tuned in that didn't understand unions have a better grasp of what they are now. And again, we ask that you keep us posted on what's going on. Let us know if you need to come back on and chat a little bit more. But we definitely appreciate you letting us in on the story, who you are, how you got to this point, and hopefully the path towards resolution, especially when it comes to the people and being able to get them the assistance and the support that they need, which is what the unions were actually created for. So thank you so much.
Tonya, Gia, thank you so much for having me on your My Morning Coffee podcast. It's a true pleasure. Thank you so much.
And let the people know if they want to get in touch with you, or if they have questions, or if they want to support you, how they should go about doing that.
I've been taking donations to raise money for attorney fees because they've cut off my access to the union. And so they can reach me at, I don't know how to give out my phone number. They can contact me on Facebook at RL Brown. Oh, I'm open book. People call me all the time. So they can contact me at RL Brown on Facebook, or they can email me at richard.brown7 437@yahoo.com.
All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and post that up. And if you guys want to get in touch with him, feel free to do such. We wish you well. We hope that there are solutions for the people out there because they clearly need what you're providing.
That's perfect.
And there has to be a better way to resolve problems than going to court. Let's hope. Let's hope. Let's hope.
That's
so.
correct.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ladies.
Have a great rest of your day.
Oh, you too as well.
So what do you think?
Woo, man. I don't know what's going on with this union, but they need to get it. They need to work it on out because again, it's really, I think that everybody involved has lost sight of the big picture, and the big picture is the membership, the members of the that local union, and you know, they need to be represented and not having to deal, like I said, deal with all this internal fighting and stuff. But we'll see. Let's stay tuned and see how they resolve this. Because I'm sure there's, you know, everybody, you know, there's always many sides to a story. And again, you know, we got Mr. Brown's side. We don't know the other people involved, their side. But I don't know. Sounds like it's a mess up there in Sacramento, or is that where they're at in Sacramento? Or
yeah. You know, we got some messy mess going on here in Redondo Beach. So
yeah, so
there's been some court filings. There's been some suing of some people, and you know what? At the end of the day, the people did not win. Like
that's what I'm saying. And that's the sad part. It's really, you know, people getting these positions, and you know, and I know sometimes, you know, people. Everybody has, like you said, everybody has an opinion, and it's always going to be another. There's two sides to every story, and then there's the middle, I guess they say, or something like that. But at the end of the day, it's about the people, and that's my thing. It's like, you know, the people don't deserve this. These are hardworking men and women, and you know, holding up their end of the bargain. They're going to work, doing their jobs and stuff like that. So they don't need to be dealing with their union fighting and stuff.
It would make sense to me if someone won an election, for those that did not want that person to win, to start working on the next campaign.
Yes.
It's something that has gone on in politics and it's getting worse.
Yes.
But it makes sense for those that do not like that he won to put their hat in the race the next time and work on their campaign. And I'm not just talking about him. Like this is a regular thing. Even when, you know, old administration won in DC, many of us didn't like it. What are you supposed to do? You need to start working on your platform for the next time.
Yes.
Because fighting a losing battle, the only people that really lose are the people that are meant for this to be supportive of.
Yes.
So it's just heartbreaking to see that money and time are going into a situation that does not benefit the people. Right. And, you know, it's sad, but hopefully we shed some light on it. And, you know, if you guys want to be a guest, let us know, because we'd love to hear. We like hearing the story. Like, what's the story? And
yes,
clearly she got to go. So I guess we done here.
No, whatever.
No, it's important though. Being able to tell your story, being able to let people know how you're feeling. I think that's the other thing is like, how are you feeling about this? And if you went into an election with malice, or if you went into an election with the intent to really help people, all of those things matter. And everyone's not always going to agree. But again, you know, there's the opportunity to, you know, you didn't like it. Okay. Put your hat in the ring for the next time, or get your person and get them all ready and prettied up and get you know, all of their promises in line it up, put it on the ballot, because fighting something that has already happened is just, we only got 365 days of the year, and I don't want to spend any of them fighting. So that's just me.
Yeah.
What about you? What's next for you?
Oh, this coming Saturday, I'll be at the Nothing But Black Flea Market, you know, doing my vending thing. The second and fourth Saturday of the month, I'm always there. Y'all come check me out. I got some new merch. So come get some stuff. It's supposed to be a beautiful weekend. So, you know, let's get out and support these local small businesses that are out there doing their thing also. And that's really about it for me, Tonya. What about you?
Still working on the brunch. So if you guys have not yet signed up, make sure that ladies, you can go into the Lady Boss group on Facebook or LinkedIn, get signed up for the brunch with brands. So getting ready for that and some of the more cool stuff that we have going on.
Yes.
Another webinar mastermind coming up for authors. So any of you authors that are really looking to level up on getting your book out to your target market, holla at your girl, and just working on, I'm speaking a lot and doing a lot of teaching and stuff. So, I got to get my platforms all cleaned up and ready for the people, and hopefully getting my Lady Boss and Sand and Shores merch from some creative I know.
It's in the works. It's in the works.
You see, I got my little...
Yeah, I see.
Mahogany box. I stay mahoganized, y'all. So
yes.
Anyways, with that being said, we want to thank you for tuning in. We want you to find out the issues. Look into things. Don't just take one side or the other. Do your digging. Find out. Ask the questions. We're going to ask. Listen, we want to know. We want all the tea. So that's it. But thank you for showing up, and we'll see you guys next week.